Welcome back, ready to get our minds blown by some seriously cool tech.
Always up for that.
Today, we're diving headfirst into the world of AI in manufacturing. And let me tell you, it's way more than just robots putting cars together. We're going deep, like really deep.
Deep dive time. Love it.
We're taking inspiration from a YouTube video called The Fascinating Ethical Dilemmas of the Attractive AI in Manufacturing.
Catchy title, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's super relevant because
Makes
they're going to uncover how AI is transforming factories, supply chains, the whole shebang. And, well, the implications are kind of massive.
Yeah, no doubt. This isn't some futuristic fantasy anymore. It's happening right now, right in front of us. And honestly, the speed at which it's all happening is mind-blowing.
Okay, so paint the picture for us. Just how big is this AI boom we're talking about?
Oh, get this. Projections show the AI in manufacturing market exploding from like $3.2 billion in 2023 to a whopping $20.8 billion by 2028.
Whoa, those numbers are huge GE. So what's fueling this insane growth? Is it just those big companies with tons of cash, playing around with robots?
It's definitely not just a playground for the big players, though companies like Amazon and Tesla are for sure leading the charge. But the real drivers are the crazy breakthroughs in AI technology itself. I'm talking about things like machine learning algorithms that are becoming ridiculously good at, like optimizing super complicated processes, predicting outcomes, you name it.
So it's not just about replacing humans with robots, but AI tackling things we couldn't even imagine doing manually before.
You hit the nail on the head. Take something like autonomous supply chain planning, for example. AI can analyze these massive data sets, like information about suppliers, transportation routes, heck, even weather patterns. And then you can predict demand and optimize the entire flow of goods, like across the globe. Before AI, that kind of intricate planning, at that scale, humans couldn't even dream of it.
So AI is basically becoming the ultimate global trade project manager. Wild. What else is it doing in the real world right now?
Okay, well, let's say you've got a massive factory, right? And it's packed with this really expensive machinery. AI can take all the sensor data from those machines and actually predict potential failures before they even happen.
Whoa, that's incredible.
Right. We're talking about preventing costly downtime, keeping those production lines humming super smoothly. It's like giving the machines a sixth sense and awareness of their own health.
So AI is like a doctor, a fortune teller, and a project manager all rolled into one. No wonder companies are jumping on this bandwagon. Any other cool examples out there?
Have you ever wondered how companies keep the quality of their products so consistently high? I mean, we're talking about tiny defects that a human eye would probably miss, but AI-powered systems can catch them. They're using cameras and like super advanced image recognition to analyze each and every product, making sure only the best ones make it out the door.
Okay, so AI is optimizing supply chains, predicting maintenance issues, acting as this super-powered quality control inspector. It's starting to sound less like a factory and more like, a scene straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's pretty incredible, but I know there's another side to this, right?
You got it.
The video we're looking at really dives into the ethical side of things, and I'm guessing it's not all sunshine and robots.
You're right. There definitely are some complex ethical questions we need to grapple with, even with all these amazing advancements. The video uses this super interesting case study, and I think it's going to make this whole conversation a lot more real for our listeners.
Okay, I'm all ears. Lay it on me. What's the case study about?
So picture this. A huge manufacturing giant, like think Airbus, Siemens, Hitachi, one of those. And they go all in on AI, integrating it into every single part of their operations. I'm talking product design, supply chain management, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
And the results. Absolutely incredible. Design cycles shrink dramatically, costs plummet, efficiency goes through the roof. They're producing more, better, faster than they ever thought possible.
Sounds like a dream scenario for any company. Sign me up. But I'm sensing a but coming here.
Oh, there's a but, all right, and it's a big one. While the company is raking in all the benefits of AI, the video highlights the potential consequences, especially for the human workers.
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people immediately think of when they hear about AI in the workplace, the impact on jobs.
For sure, and the video doesn't shy away from it. It points out that assembly line workers, people doing routine quality control, even some logistics planners, they're being replaced by robots and algorithms. And it's not even just about losing a job. It's about, the possibility of economic disparity, especially if those workers can't adapt to these new roles in this, rapidly changing landscape.
That's a pretty sobering thought. Even if AI makes things more efficient, more productive, it doesn't automatically mean everyone wins.
You got it. And another thing to remember is that putting AI into practice isn't always smooth sailing. The video highlights that some companies actually struggle to get the financial gains they were expecting. Sometimes the data they're feeding the AI is, messy, incomplete, or maybe the AI's capabilities don't perfectly match up with the company's needs. It's a good reminder that AI is a tool, and just like any tool, you got to use it skillfully, strategically.
So we've got this company riding high on the AI wave, but underneath there's this undercurrent of concern about the human cost. This case study really shines a light on those ethical questions. It feels like we're at a crossroads where we have this incredibly powerful technology, but we need to figure out how to use it responsibly. So where do we go from here? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think the first step is acknowledging there's no easy, clear-cut answer. The video asks this really important question. Can we have the benefits of AI without sacrificing the well-being of human workers? Can we make this technology work for everyone?
It's a question that goes way beyond just manufacturing, doesn't it? We're talking about the future of work as a whole.
Absolutely. This conversation needs to happen across all industries, across all of society, really. What happens in manufacturing is going to have ripple effects throughout the whole economy. And that's why it's not just a conversation for tech experts or CEOs, it's for everyone.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to keep unpacking this, exploring all the potential of AI, the challenges, what it all means for you, our listeners.
It's going to be great.
But first, we need to take a quick break, so hang tight. We'll be right back with some listener questions. And trust me, you won't want to miss this. So stick around. This conversation is just heating up.
All right. Are you ready to dive into some listener questions?
Always excited to hear what our audience is thinking. What have people been wondering about AI and manufacturing?
Well, a lot of the questions echo those concerns we were talking about before the break, that anxiety around jobs and automation.
Yeah, makes sense. It's hard not to feel a little uneasy when you see headlines about robots taking over, more and more jobs.
Right, exactly.
We had one listener, Sarah, who wrote in with a really specific question. She works in a factory that's starting to bring in more robots, and she's worried about, well, her job security.
Yeah.
She wants to know what kind of skills she should be focusing on to kind of stay ahead of the curve. What would you tell Sarah?
That's a great question, and it really gets at the heart of this, this whole transition we're going through. It's easy to think of AI as just this job killer, but it's way more nuanced than that.
Right.
While it's true that some jobs are going to be automated, AI is also going to create a ton of new opportunities.
So it's less about resisting the change and more about adapting to it.
You got it. For someone like Sarah, who's already in a manufacturing environment, she's in a perfect position to, upskill and get ready for those new roles that are going to pop up. Think about the people who are going to be needed to manage those robots, to program them, to fix them when they break down.
Right.
Those are skilled jobs, and they're going to require a mix of, technical know-how and those all-important problem-solving skills.
So is Sarah better off learning to code than, worrying about a robot taking her spot on the line?
Well, coding is definitely valuable, and it's becoming more and more relevant in pretty much every industry. But it's not all about those hard technical skills.
Right.
Companies are going to need people who can bridge that gap between humans and machines. People who can understand all that data AI spits out, communicate those insights to others, and make sure that AI is being used ethically and effectively.
So it sounds like Sarah's got options. She could go the technical route, learn to code, maybe work directly with AI systems, or she could focus on, developing those really essential human skills that are going to be super important for collaborating with AI.
Exactly. Communication, critical thinking, problem solving. Those are the skills that are going to set people apart in a world where AI is, doing more and more of the heavy lifting. Think of it this way. AI might be amazing at crunching numbers, optimizing processes, but it can't replace human ingenuity, creativity, empathy.
That's a really reassuring message for Sarah and for anyone else who's, feeling a little anxious about what the future holds. What other questions have been coming in?
Well, we also heard from David, a software developer, who's thinking about the bigger picture. He's wondering how we can make sure that AI algorithms are fair, that they don't discriminate against certain groups.
That's a huge point. I mean, we've already seen examples of AI systems, perpetuating biases, whether it's in facial recognition, tech, or hiring algorithms.
Oh, yeah.
How do we prevent AI from, making the world a less equitable place?
It all starts with the data. We need to make sure that the data that's used to train these AI systems is diverse and representative of everyone. Right. If we only train AI on data from a small, specific part of society, then we're building those biases into the algorithms right from the get-go.
So garbage in, garbage out, like they say.
Exactly. It's like, imagine you're teaching a kid about the world, but you're only showing them one very narrow perspective. They're going to end up with, a pretty skewed view of things.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
And it's the same for AI. If we want AI to be fair and unbiased, we have to train it on data that reflects the full spectrum of human experiences.
Makes sense. So beyond making sure the data sets are diverse, what else can we do?
Well, we also need to develop tools and techniques to actually audit AI systems, to catch bias and, fix it.
Okay.
It's like having checks and balances to make sure AI stays on the right track. And maybe most importantly, we need to have open and honest conversations about, the ethical implications of AI, making sure we include a wide range of voices and perspectives.
So it's about being proactive, being vigilant, and really making sure everyone's got a seat at the table when we're talking about, the future of AI.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about recognizing that AI is incredibly powerful. And just like any powerful tool, it can be used for good or for, not so good things. It's our responsibility to shape how this technology develops and make sure it serves humanity, not the other way around.
Well said. Okay, we've got time for one more question before we wrap things up. What else is on our listeners' minds?
This is a good one. We got a question from Maria, who's thinking about the environmental impact of AI. She's excited about all the potential, but she's also, concerned about how much energy these systems use.
That's a great point, Maria. AI requires a lot of computing power, which means a lot of energy. How can we make sure AI is developed and used sustainably?
That's a huge challenge, and it's something that researchers and developers are actively working on. There's a lot of research going into creating AI algorithms and hardware that are more energy efficient.
Yeah.
Imagine, AI systems that can do more with less, that need way less processing power to get the same results.
So AI could actually become part of the solution to climate change, not just, another thing contributing to the problem.
Exactly. And there are already some cool initiatives to move AI processing to data centers that run on renewable energy sources. Think about, massive server farms powered by solar or wind energy, crunching all those AI algorithms while keeping their carbon footprint as small as possible.
That's great to hear. Sounds like there's a lot of work being done to make AI more sustainable.
Yeah, definitely. But we can all do our part too. We can be mindful of, our own energy consumption when we're using AI-powered devices and services. Every little bit helps.
Okay, so we've covered a ton of ground here, from those, practical concerns about job losses to the big ethical questions about bias and AI's environmental impact.
It's a lot to think about.
It is, but I think it's so important to have these conversations and to, approach this technology with a sense of both optimism and, a healthy dose of caution.
I totally agree. AI has the potential to completely revolutionize how we live and work. But we can't forget about the potential downsides. We have to work together to make sure it benefits everyone.
Well said. Now, before we move on, I want to address something that's been in the back of my mind, and I'm sure it's on some of our listeners' minds too.
Okay, what's that?
So, we've talked a lot about how AI can change industries and maybe even, push some workers out of their jobs.
Yeah, definitely a big concern.
But what about this idea of AI, like, getting too smart? Becoming self-aware, that kind of thing. Some people are worried about those sci-fi scenarios where robots take over.
I get where that fear comes from. We've all seen those movies, right? But I think it's important to, separate Hollywood from the real world.
So no Skynet situation on the horizon.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The AI we have today is powerful, no question. But it's still a tool. It's designed and controlled by humans.
Okay, good. That's reassuring. But I mean, does that mean we should just trust AI completely? Just let it do its thing?
Oh, definitely not. We absolutely need to be careful, think about potential risks, develop safeguards as AI systems get, more and more advanced. But we also can't let fear hold us back. We can't let it stifle innovation.
It's all about balance, right? Embracing the possibilities while also being aware of the potential downsides.
Exactly. And a big part of that is having these conversations, asking those tough questions, making sure AI development is responsible every step of the way.
Well, I'm glad we're doing that here today. But before we wrap things up entirely, there's one more aspect of AI that I think is super fascinating, and I don't think we've really touched on it yet.
I think I know where you're going with this.
AI's creative potential. It's not just about, logic and numbers and algorithms. This stuff is making music, it's making art, even poetry.
It's pretty amazing, right? AI systems are composing symphonies, painting landscapes, even writing screenplays. It's mind-blowing.
It really makes you wonder, what does it even mean for a machine to be creative? Is that real art or just a really good imitation?
I think those are questions that, philosophers are going to be debating for years to come. But I think it forces us to think differently about creativity itself. What does it even mean?
It's like AI is holding up a mirror to our own creative process, making us think about what makes human art so unique.
And who knows, maybe AI can actually help us break through some of our own creative barriers, inspire us to create in ways we never even thought possible.
That's an exciting thought. It's not about AI replacing human artists, but collaborating with them, pushing the boundaries, expanding what's possible.
Imagine a world where composers are working with AI to create totally new forms of music, or where painters are using AI to generate like these incredible color palettes and textures they wouldn't have thought of otherwise.
Now that's a future I can get behind. But even with all this potential, we have to remember we're still pretty early in this whole AI revolution.
Oh, absolutely. There are going to be bumps in the road, things we can't even anticipate right now.
So it's up to all of us, to stay informed, to think critically, to make sure AI development is done responsibly.
We can't just be passive observers. We have to be active participants in shaping this technology.
That's where you come in, listeners. Stay curious, keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask those tough questions.
The future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we build together, all of us.
What a great way to wrap things up. Thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive into the world of AI and manufacturing.
It's been a pleasure exploring all these, complex and fascinating ideas with you.
And until next time, keep those minds open and stay engaged with this incredible world of technology. We'll see you then.